Hola amigos, Juan Alanis here, a blast from the past. I know it has been, I won't say a minute. It's been longer than a minute. It's been a long time since we've actually recorded. Since I've actually recorded, I've been behind the scenes a lot lately, helping to support a bunch of different projects. But I would say the biggest and the most important of which is the Latina Leadership Podcast, which you all hopefully have heard about by now through all the things that we share on social media, through episodes actually even on this podcast where we talked about the Latina Leadership Podcast, and our events that we're now having in person in Houston. We're going to do one in Chicago, and then we're going to come back to Houston and do more. We're going to do one in Northwest Arkansas. So we're definitely growing, expanding, doing a lot of different things with the Latina Leadership Podcast because there's a huge need there, a huge I would say need in the community, in the Latino space and the Latina space, to be able to provide the types of events that we're putting together, and we're excited about that. And I don't want to get too much into that because that's not what I'm here to talk about. But it occurred to me that I hadn't recorded an episode in quite a long time, and I thought, you know what? It would be good to record a new episode. I actually have a conversation with somebody that I admire very much, who I actually not grew up, that's not the right word to say. I think we're about the same age, but we came up together. I think that's what I was trying to say in terms of our careers and the things that we're doing. I'm talking about Joy Sewing, who's a culture writer, culture columnist for the Houston Chronicle now. So I'll be releasing that episode soon. But since I haven't really recorded any other episodes for the In the Business podcast, I did want to come and just talk to you briefly for a second here, and maybe this will be another episode. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure what I'll do with that. But I wanted to actually talk to you about something that's kind of been weighing on my mind as of late. And the reason it's been weighing on my mind as of late is because it was something that happened to me in business. That, I'll be honest, happens pretty frequently. I mean, it's not uncommon for these things to happen. But it just so happened that the person it happened to me with was somebody that I had been actually working with before in other projects, on other things. As far as I know, we don't have any problems. There are no issues. And, it was a situation where, let me just get into it. I had reached out to them about a particular project. We had talked, and we had kind of agreed, although we didn't have anything in writing, we had kind of agreed that we were going to move forward with a particular project. And when it came time to move forward with the project, I just kind of got ghosted. I didn't get any responses. I couldn't get any callbacks. I couldn't get any text messages. I couldn't get an email. And I'm not the type of person that likes to harass people, although I'm not above it, which, I think sometimes in business you do kind of have to be persistent. So I am the person that's not afraid to be persistent. And even when I have to kind of I'll and I say this to myself sometimes mentally, I'm like, Juan, you're going to have to swallow your pride and just go for it. Just pick up the phone, send that text message, make that phone call. Put your pride aside and make the call. And I'm not above that. But in this situation, maybe I was harassing a little bit. Okay, I'll be honest. Maybe I was harassing a little bit, but not to the point where I'm to me, harassment is if I call you and I call you again and I call you again and I call you again, continuously, or if I text you over and over and over, even though you haven't responded. I don't do that, but I do. What I do is I do send in spurts. So say today I might send a message and I don't hear back in 2 days, then I'll send another message. If I don't hear back in another 2 days, I might send a third message. So I think that I usually have a number of times that I'm okay, I'll reach out this many times before I give up or before I say, you know what, I'm not going to do it. Apparently it's not going to move forward. And in this case, I kind of exhausted all of those efforts, whether it was phone calls, voice messages, text messages, emails. And then I just, came to the realization, I think, you know what, I don't think that we're gonna be able to move forward with this project this time around. And it was frustrating. I think as a business owner, sometimes it's frustrating when you make plans and then things don't always. Not that they don't work out. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's about the making plans and them not working out. I think it's frustrating sometimes when. Here's what I want to say. When people don't have the conversations, the difficult conversations, because I don't have an issue at all if, we worked together in the past and we're not able to work together now, or for whatever reason, right now, you just don't have time, you don't have capacity, you just aren't able to do the work. I have no problem with that at all. I have no issue. I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be upset. I'm not going to be, maybe I will be a little bit frustrated if we've kind of already talked and I thought you were going to be available because you told me you were, but I'm not going to take it personal. You know what I mean? I'm not going to take it personal if you tell me, hey, you know what? I'm actually not available. Or you know what? I thought I had capacity and I don't. Or you know what? I just have a lot of stuff going on and I just can't take this on right now. I'm not going to be mad. Because you know what? I think as a business owner, one of the things that we have to develop, and you may or may not agree, is you have to have thick skin. You have to kind of develop the ability to take things in stride. And so, because I get rejected all the time. I mean, I get told all the time, like, I send a proposal, I talk to people about new business, and then, it sounds like it's all like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Let's move forward. We're excited. We want to work with you, blah, blah, blah. And then push comes to shove and it doesn't end up panning out. It doesn't happen. I get a no, or I get a no response at all. And I just have to I can't take those things personally. I have to move forward and move along. I can't, I can't stay there and be like, oh, you know what, now I'm going to hold a grudge. I'm going to be mad. I'm going to do this and that, or whatever. It's not like that. I can't do that. I can't stay in that space. And so I think that was the frustrating thing for me, is that I felt like in that particular business relationship, there was more of a trust between us, more of a confidence between us, where that person could have turned around and told me, hey, you know what, I'm not going to be able to do the thing that I thought I was going to be able to do. And that we could have, said, okay, you know what, that's fine, no hard feelings. And, we could have just had that conversation. But instead, it was just, I was just kind of like complete dead silence on the other end. I couldn't get a response. I couldn't get any type of reply. So that was frustrating. And it's been weighing on my mind the last few days, just because I don't want there to be any negative feelings or any for anybody to think that I might have resentment, as I don't want. I guess that's not. I don't know. I don't know if that's what I'm trying to say, but I guess it's been weighing on me because I don't know. I feel like maybe because I've done it myself before, where sometimes I don't know how to have a conversation, and instead of having the conversation, I've avoided it. I've just kind of disappeared or kind of avoided that person or that situation. I've done that before, a lot, many years ago. I haven't done it as of late, but now I'm comfortable being able to have those conversations. And I guess the whole point of this is not to like drag anybody, not to make anybody feel bad, not to like put anybody on the spot. I think it was more for me to kind of process my own thoughts and feelings about it, because it has kind of been on the back of my mind, not bothering me, but just kind of there. When something's just there in the back of your mind and you're like, I wonder why this happened. Like, why did it go that way, that route? It didn't have to go that way. It didn't have to be like that. And it just kind of sits there and you're kind of like, I can't put my finger on it. You know what I mean? To use a better analogy, I can't put my finger on what the reason was or what happened exactly. And I think that's the thing that has been kind of staying with me. Like, why? Like, what happened? Why? And so I don't need to know the answer. I mean, it is what it is, and I don't have to have an answer, but I did want to vent. I did want to kind of just talk about that. And And I wanted to be honest and say that I've done that myself. And when I did it, I think it was because I just didn't know how to confront the situation. But I think sometimes when you don't confront a situation, it leads to you leave room for interpretation, for other people to interpret like what you meant or didn't mean by just not responding. And I think that's not always a good thing. So I think in particular for business, if you need to have the difficult conversations, those awkward conversations, I would say go ahead and do so, because chances are the person you're having the conversation with will understand, or at least empathize with you in some way. And if they are mad, if they are frustrated in the moment, more than likely they're going to get over it. And more than likely, they've experienced or done something similar themselves. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Just wanted to talk about having those difficult conversations and not avoiding them, not walking away from them, not ghosting people. Don't ghost me, people. I don't like that. No, I'm playing. But yeah, thank you for tuning in if you listen to this rant. And I hope to be coming back talking a little bit more, hopefully having a little bit more to share about some business topics. So if you have ideas, if you have requests, questions even, I'm definitely open to those. And yeah, I'll also be sharing our conversation with Joy Sewing soon. So look forward to that. That's going to be exciting. As always, you can follow us on all across all our social media platforms. And then you can also go to In the Business on Apple Podcast, leave us a rating, a review, and tell people to follow us or share our content. Thank you.